Hello guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make a crochet beanie. So what you're going to need is any medium weight size 4 yarn, right here. You're going to need a 5mm crochet hook, here. And you're going to be needing a darning needle for sewing it up at the end. Okay, let's get started. Right here I've already created a slip knot and I've attached it to my hook, and we're going to start by creating around 40 chains. 39 and 40. And so what we can do once we've chained 40 is measure this to our head to make sure that it's a good length, that it's not too long or too short. Because depending on the size of yarn that you use and also your hook size as well as your tension, the length that this needs to be could change. So how you measure this is you're going to put one end of your chain at the tip of your head and the other end to your forehead, kind of folding it over like this to imitate what the finished beanie will look like. And you're going to measure and see if this fits on your head correctly. So let me do that just now. Okay, and I felt like mine was a tiny bit short, so I'm gonna add maybe 3 more chains and measure it again. All right, so this size seems pretty good to me. So this is what I'm going to go forward with. Make sure you're using your head to measure because this can really change depending on the yarn you're using, your hook size, things like that. So once you have your desired length, you're going to chain one extra, and this is going to be sort of our side chain. And then you are going to half double crochet into the second chain from the hook. So this is the extra chain we did just now. This is the second chain from the hook. So we're just going to enter our hook to the second loop and complete a half double crochet like this. And if you need a small reminder on how to do a half double crochet, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into your stitch, pull a loop through, and then pull through all 3 loops. All right, and you're going to half double crochet to the end of your row. And once you've half double crochet to the end, you'll have a row that looks like this. And once you get there, what you're going to do is you're going to want to chain 1 and then flip your work. And now we're going to learn a new kind of stitch. Well, it's not really new, but the placement is. You're going to half double crochet in the back loop only. So what that looks like, we're going to yarn over as normal for a half double crochet. But when we see these sort of fishtails on top, or sort of chains here, you see how there is a front loop, the one that's facing you, and then there is a back loop here. This loop right here, the back one. Another example, in this stitch, this chain right here is the back one. So you have a front loop and a back loop. And what you're going to do is you're going to half double crochet into the back loop. You're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the back loop, and then just half double crochet as normal. So there we go. You can see it's kind of going behind our first row, and that's going to help us achieve this sort of ribbed look for this beanie. So showing you again, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the back loop only, pull through a loop, pull through all 3 loops. Show you once again, going to yarn over, insert your hook into the back loop only, pull a loop through, pull through all 3 loops. So you can see here, it's sort of achieving that ribbed look already. So I'll finish this row and show you guys what it looks like. And this is what it looks like so far. As you can see, we're achieving a ribbed look. This is pretty cool, right? So for the third row, like we did for the first row, we're just going to chain 1 and flip our work. So after we do that, we're going to do what we did for the second row. it's a repeat for the rest of the rows. We're just going to half double crochet in the back loop only. So I yarn over here, I locate my sort of fishtails, my stitches at the top, and I enter in my hook into the back loop of the first stitch. And then I half double crochet. So showing you again, yarn over to your hook into the back loop only, and half double crochet. So you're basically just going to repeat half double crocheting in the back loop only for as many rows as it takes for this to wrap around your head. Alright, so I finished crocheting, and for this to fit around my head, it took me 54 rows. And this is what it looks like. Doesn't quite fit in the screen. Alright, and now I'm going to show you how to attach it. So make sure not to cut your yarn or anything after you finish. So once you're here, I'm going to turn it over this way so that the last row is facing me, and this is our first row. So to attach these, we're going to slip stitch. So first, you're going to chain one, and then what you're going to do is you're going to line up your 2 rows. So what you can do, first you can enter your hook into your first stitch, and then you're going to locate your first stitch on your first row. So for me, that's right here. If you could see this little fishtail here, these may be a bit harder to see because they don't look quite like these neat looking fishtails. But if you can see, this is one stitch, this is another, this is another, this is another. So it looks a little bit funky, but yes. So you're going to enter your hook into this stitch right here. Oh, sorry. Got my yarn caught. So look, now you've entered your hook into 2 rows across from each other, the same first stitch. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull a loop through, and you're going to pull this loop through again. And this is called a slip stitch. So it's not a single crochet. It's basically just pulling a yarn through and slip stitching, right? So the next stitch, gonna enter my hook into the second stitch, then the second stitch in the back. So this is right here. I know it's kind of hard to see. Here's this a bit easier. This stitch right here, and you see this is the third, this is the fourth. So then you're going to slip stitch. Then the third chain here, third stitch, you're going to enter your hook and enter your hook into the third stitch right here. You're going to slip stitch. Now the fourth, enter your hook into your fourth stitch, and then the fourth loop right here. Now the fifth. And now the sixth. And you're just going to repeat that all the way down until you've attached it. I finished slip stitching the whole way. So this is what it'll look like. And what we're going to eventually do is we're going to flip, we're going to turn our work inside out. So let me just show you what it'll look like with a slip stitch connection. So it looks like this. And it looks very seamless, at least to me. You kind of can't tell. Well, I mean, you kind of can, but you still have that same ribbed look going on. So that's why I like the slip stitch connection. But also you can connect your two rows using single crochets. You can use a darning needle and do like a whip stitch or a mattress stitch. There's many ways you can connect your two rows. But once you've connected them, you're going to single crochet and then you're going to chain off. So you're going to leave a pretty long yarn tail because we're going to weave the top in. So what I'd say is, if you want to kind of guesstimate how much yarn you need, I would do like 2 full loops. So this is 1 full loop, and then this is 2. I don't know if you can see that, but just like 2 circumferences around. And you're going to cut it. And then you're going to pull this yarn through. So that's a secure chain, and we have chained off. So let me show you now how to connect the top. Right, so after you've chained off and left a long yarn tail, what you're going to do is you're going to insert your darning needle. And a darning needle is essentially just a needle that helps you weave in ends or connect different parts. It looks like this. So it's not as thin as like a needle for embroidery per se. You're going to pull your yarn through. Now you've attached your darning needle. And so then what you're going to do is you're going to locate the top of your circle here. And this may be a little bit hard to see, but for me, do you see these, in this ribbed look, do you see the rows that stick out? So in these rows that stick out, there's kind of a stitch that sticks out on top, like right here. I put my needle through these stitches, and what we're going to do is we're going to kind of weave it through, and then we're going to pull the yarn at the end so that it all cinches and closes. You can honestly pick any stitch to put it through. These stitches just stick out, so I like putting my needle through there. Alright, so we've inserted our needle into the first like 4 of these stitches, and then we're just going to pull the yarn through. And we're going to do that all around, but as you can see, as I pull it, it cinches like this, and that's what we want to close the top. So let me keep showing you. Just sort of weave it through these stitches. Like this, okay. And you pull through. And you can go like just a couple of rows at a time, because if your darning needle isn't too big, which it won't be, you kind of can't go all around in one turn. All right. Now I have finished weaving my yarn through each row. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my yarn and I'm going to cinch the top like this. It's pretty cool. Just going to pull it and cinch the top closed. As you can see, for the most part, it is closed, but there's still kind of like little bumps here. And if you open it, there's a little hole here too. So we're going to take extra measures to keep it secure. So what this is, we're just going to weave our yarn through like diagonally across until the hole is completely closed. So since my tail end is right here, I'm going to go across and I'm going to insert my hook somewhere here. So opening the hole a tiny bit, let's say I'll insert right here. and I'm going to pull. Ta-da! So now this part is kind of closed. Now I want to enter through here and go this way. So that's what I'll do. So locate some area over here. And honestly, this is mostly just freestyling. There's no like set stitch you're looking for. You're kind of just trying to close it up. Insert it here and I'm going to go across to over here and pull through. As you can see, it's slowly closing up. So now I want to go maybe this way. So that's what I'll do. And sorry that this is kind of hard to see. And you're just going to keep doing that until it's completely closed. Alright, I have fully cinched closed the top. One way I like to check is I like to just kind of go around like this. Make sure there aren't any holes. Yep, we're good. And once you've checked, I'm now going to show you how to weave in your ends. So basically, threading this string of yarn through the piece of work so that it doesn't come undone. So we have our yarn tail here, and we're just going to locate some area that it's close to, or a row that it's close to. So I'll weave my end into this row here. So I have my work and I'm just going to kind of thread it through this mess right here. Then we're going to locate a row, and this is backwards so it might be a bit hard to see, but these little beads here, so this is the sort of yarn tail that I was talking about, or the fishtails, and these little bulbs here, these are the stitches. So what we're going to do is we're going to thread our darning needle through these little bulbs here, and this is how we're going to weave our end. So I like to insert into 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you just pull that through. All right. And then to make it extra secure, what you're going to do is you're going to go to another row and you're going to stitch 5 this way. So I'll go to this top row here. So we locate our fishtails and then our little stitches, so these bulbs here. So you're going to thread your yarn through these stitches. So 1. All right. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to pull through. And voila. That is all there is to weaving in ends. Then we're just going to cut off, and I because we're going to turn it inside out, I just like to leave a little piece so that it won't come undone. Extra security. Ta-da! We've weaved in our end. And then we're just going to check our work for any other ends that we might need to weave in. And I see one right here. So we're going to weave in this end. So we'll insert it into our darning needle. And do the same process. See, I'll go into this row. So locate our stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Here, right, this is our fishtail looking thing. These are our stitches. We're going to pull through. We're going to go to another row and we're going to weave our ends through there. So we see here, this is our fishtail looking thing and these are our stitches. So we're just gonna enter through here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You kind of can't see it because it's so close to the cinched end. We're gonna pull through. And ta-da! We've weaved in this end as well. And we just cut this piece off. And our piece is not gonna come undone because we've weaved in our ends. So now what we're gonna do, we're going to turn our work inside out. And then we're just going to fold over the ends like this to really give it that beanie look. And ta-da! This is our finished beanie. You can try it on to see if it fits. If it's a bit too long, you can fold this over a bit more. But this is how you make a beanie. Thank you so much, guys!